So here we are, right? A week after Christmas, and the kids have been home all week. And our visiting relatives are probably just about gone if they're not leaving today, right? So how many of you are still holy families? That's what today is about. We celebrate Holy Family. And I was reading, actually, I did see a website that had 21 suggestions on how to encourage your visitors to leave your house. You can look that up if they're still there on Tuesday. But as I was saying, that's what today is really about, celebrating holy families. And family holiness is not about perfection. It's not about prejudgment. It's not about failure. It's really about our relationships, our close relationships with each other, the good and the bad, and our close relationships with God, the good and the bad, and how we keep the Spirit alive in those relationships. Each year we celebrate this feast today to honor two families. Of course, specifically the Holy Family, but also our holy families. Now, our second reading today, of course, gave us the virtues of a holy family: compassion, patience, kindness, gentleness. But I think that there's also some other virtues of family that were missed in that reading. Fireworks, right? We know the story. Did you hear what those two are fighting about? Now they're not talking to each other. Humor. Did you hear what Cousin Billy did back in September with him and his friends? Hurt. Did she really say that about me? And of course, sorrow. Did you hear who was diagnosed with cancer this summer? These are all part of our families. And this is part of what we celebrate today. And we're all unique in who we are as holy families. Let's focus, let's look for a minute and pay attention to this holy family. You know, as much as you look at these nativity sets, you can never see it in their faces. But Mary and Joseph, they had some issues, right? She was, about 15, child out of wedlock. They were poor. We know that because the offering she made in the temple was prescribed for poor people. They were sent out of their own hometown. And then once they got to their new town, they were hunted and chased out of there as well. Yet they were pious, law-abiding Jews. They were prayerful people. They were faith-filled people. And even with all the struggles of their personal life, they still maintained their relationship with God. So here they were today. They were in the temple to follow the second ritual of the three rituals that come with childbirth. It was the presentation of the first male child. This was an opportunity for them to be joyful. A proud moment for parents to thank God for the gift of their child. For this moment, they were able to put their issues of life on the side and just be normal people. But then it didn't take long for them to run into Simeon and Anna. Now, who were Simeon and Anna? They were really old people who hung around the temple. You know, we've run across those kinds of people in our lives. And you think of Mary and Joseph, they probably couldn't get away from these two people quick enough. And surely the message that Simeon and Anna left these two, they probably didn't fully understand them. But Mary walked away hearing two things. She knew that her child Jesus was special, and she knew that her heart would be pierced. You know, we parents are like that. We hear those things and carry them with us. Now, Simeon and Anna were signs used in this gospel. They were signs of patience. They were signs of love. They were signs of constant prayer. And most importantly, they were signs of faithfulness in God. And their being in this gospel reminds us of the constant love that God has for us, no matter what. Now, of course, we know that family life, in fact, daily life in our society takes two things. It takes love and it takes relationships. But it's also about brokenness. Brokenness in our families and brokenness in our society. Now, we can all see the brokenness in our own families. We can list them ourselves. But do we always see the brokenness in our society? We look at some of that today. The effects of drugs and addiction, how they're taking the young and innocent. Racism and cultural disparity, how it seems to be growing, more intensity. That our society allows us to take the life of people, whether it's an unborn child, an elderly person, or even a prisoner, a criminal. And of course, there are times when possessions are more important than our relationship with others or our relationship with God. There are times that this brokenness seems to bring on darkness. A darkness over us all, a darkness we can't always understand. A darkness that it seems to be overwhelming at times. But it is in this brokenness that we come together, that we embrace as family, and we deepen our relationship with each other, and we deepen our relationship with God. Because we remember that God is the light in this darkness. And just like it was for the Holy Family, God guides us with his light through that darkness. The child grew and became strong, and he was filled with wisdom, and the favor of God was upon him. We are comforted to know that God loves each of us just as much as God loves Jesus. And no matter where the struggles are in our life, whether we're not sure of the path that we happen to be on, whether we're not sure of our own holiness, whether we're not sure of our own faithfulness, God is there for us and with us because God found favor with us, our Holy Family.